Sed is a very powerful and useful command that we can use in Linux. Sed stands for stream editor, and what that means is, well, it allows you to edit streams, more specifically or more commonly used to modify and edit text without having to use a dedicated text editor such as Vim or whatever your favorite text editor is. So we can do things like search and replace, add, delete, modify text in files, all on the command line. Let's take a quick look at how sed works. To use a sed command, we want to type in sed. We've then got the options that we can put in, or we can specify. We specify the script and then the file name. The way sed works, it essentially takes input through usually the standard input in the form of files, and it performs some operations defined in the script. It then returns the output usually to, or by default, to the standard output, which is the terminal window. If that script, for example, like I said, that script can be used to search and replace something in text, add, delete, etc., as I just explained. What sed does is it will go through the file specified here, one line at a time, and performed the operations defined in the script to each line. Therefore, it applies the command to every line in the file and then outputs the response. So let's have a quick look. I've got a file here called employees.txt. So if we just have a quick look at that, it's just got first and last names, address, and postcode, and also the department in which this person works for in this company. Let's say, for example, the company had some sort of structural changes and this finance department was renamed to accounting. This obviously causes a bit of an issue. If we just have a quick look at how many times finance is used in this file. Let's just get the line numbers as well. So it's used in all these places. If we wanted to obviously update our file, we would have to go into a text editor using Vim, for example. txt, we could then search for finance, right? Actually, it has to be, and then we could manually go ahead and change each one. If we just have a quick look and see how many, so that's 16 times finance is used in our text file. Now, okay, we've only got 100 employees in this. Imagine this was thousands of lines, and so obviously finance would be in there probably more often, and this would be very time consuming. So we can use the sed command as follows. Type in sed, and we're going to use an option -e. This basically says that whatever comes next is going to be the instruction that we're going to perform on the file. We're going to put our our filter, or what we want to match, or what we want to search for after this delimiter. So we're going to search for finance, and let's say we want to change to accounting, right? We're going to specify what text we want to do it in, hit enter. Now obviously this prints out the output to the standard output, which is the terminal. So it goes through, it checks each line for this word finance. If it finds it, it replaces it with accounting. So we can see accounting is here, 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 right? We can make sure that there's no finance words left. However, if we cat our, let me clear the screen first. If we cat our employees.txt file, we can see that finance is still there. So what's going on? Well, using this command, we've told it to go through this file, employees.txt file, line by line, find finance and replace with accounting. However, the output, so the changed output, is displayed to the terminal because that is the standard output. So if we wanted to actually kind of write these changes or make these changes permanent, we have a few options. We could redirect it to a new file, so we could do employees modified.txt, and now we can cat employees modified just to make sure. And as we can see, accounting is there. If we want to do grep, let's see how many times finance is there. Employees modified dot 0, right? This has been changed. We can take a quick look at all the instances of accounting, and these are all the instances of accounting. So that's cool. We can redirect it to another file. But what if we wanted to do it to the same file? What if we wanted to use sed to search and replace finance with accounting, but we didn't want to redirect the output to a new file? We wanted to have it actually modify this employees.txt file. Well, then what we can use is we can use an option called -i, -i, and that will make the changes in place. Let me just see if that works. Okay, yes. Right, so the reason that's not working, this -e option means the next argument is the thing that we want to do. Now, we don't have to actually use this, it's optional. Instead, if we just surround our operation in quotes, this also works exactly the same. So let's get rid of that option E, and then let's do option with -i. Now, instead of printing out the output to the standard output, it's actually gone ahead and made those changes inside of our employees.txt file. So now if we just take a quick look, right, we can see here that accounting is there, accounting. Now this is the actual initial, the original file that we first started with. So just to recap, we specify obviously the sed command. We can use the -i option to make these changes that we're going to do in place. We then go ahead and specify what we wanted to do, right? So we're searching for finance and we're replacing with accounting, and then we're doing this on the employees.txt file. Amazing. So you might be asking, well, I can do this using Vim. I can do the exact same thing using a normal text editor, right? And most text editors have the search and replace operation, so why would I do it on the terminal? Right, just to show you. So I've opened it in Vim. Now, obviously, I've already changed it to accounting, but let's say I want to change it back. I can do it like this. So you do the %sign, and then you can search for accounting, and then I want to replace it with finance. 16 substitutions on 16 lines, and as we can see, it's changed back to finance. Now I can do this with obviously with anything. So why would I want to use sed? Well, the reason is, imagine, for example, we have multiple files with employee data or data about a company where we wanted to make the same change but over multiple files. Well, then if we wanted to use Vim, we would have to obviously open up each file in Vim and then make the change. Now, for 1 or 2 files, okay, you could still argue, well, this isn't the biggest deal, doesn't take that much time. But imagine you had hundreds of files or tens of files. You can see that this would obviously take time that you wouldn't want to spend. we can use sed in this case. I think I've already, yeah, so I've already got a, I've already got a directory here which contains 100 files. Now these are just copies of the the original employees text file, but this is just to give you an example. So we've got 100 files here, and I may have already changed it, but let's just see. Let's see if finance is in any of these. No, finance is not, so we've probably got accounting. Yeah, alright. So, fine, it doesn't matter. So we've got all these instances of accounting. Let me actually see how many there are. That doesn't work. We're going to do, word count. So there's 1600 instances of the word accounting in this directory. So you go and tell me, okay, we've got 99 files. You would have to open up each one and do a search and replace for each one. So that's 100 times you need to do that. With sed, I can very easily and very quickly make these changes in a matter of seconds. So how would I do that? So we do sed. We're going to do, let's just do it in place, and we're searching for accounting. Let's change accounting back to finance. And then we're going to do it for every text file in this directory. Oh, I forgot to add the quote mark. Okay, boom, done. Now let's have a quick look. So now we've got 1600 instances of the word finance. If we wanted to actually have a look and see, where they were, let's check the line numbers, right? So these are all the instances that we've changed again to finance. So we've just done 1600 search and replaces in a matter of seconds. So this should give you at least a small appreciation for how powerful the sed command is. Let's try something else. Let's just go back. And if we look at our, if we look, let's just get the head, employees.txt. Right, so we've got the name, we've got, here is the address, and we've got a 2-letter abbreviation for the state in which this person lives. For some reason, let's say the company wanted to change this so that instead of the 2-letter abbreviation, we wanted to modify this to have the actual state name. So let's just, to get an idea of what kind of we're working with, let's just take a look at just this one column of all the states. So we can use the awk command. If you're not familiar with this, I will do another video on the awk command. Sed and awk are really, really powerful, and you can do so much with them. This is, just literally scratching the surface just to give you a little taster. If you are interested, then obviously, there's a lot more advanced kind of tutorials out there. So let's just take a look at so what I'm doing is I'm just getting that one column, so we can just have a quick look. Okay, so these are all the abbreviations for the states for for all 100 users. I can also just sort that as well, just to make it a little bit easier. Does that work? Oh no, okay, sorry. Let's put that into something called states.txt. Let's sort states.txt unique. So what I'm doing now is I'm just sorting the this list of state names or state abbreviations just to see each unique instance. So rather than each one, I just want to see what states are actually in this or in our employees data. So I'm just going to quickly do this. I need to move it. States.txt. Okay. Clear. And let's just cat states. Right, so this is a list, a sorted list of all the states that are present in our employee data. So the reason I've just done this is just to kind of give myself a better view of what's being or what's inside of it. Okay, so we've got a list of all the states, and now what I want to do is for every single time one of these is mentioned in our employees.txt file, so we've got RI, TX, we want to replace that with the actual state name. So that would turn to Texas, that would be Rhode Island, Kentucky, Alabama, I think. Again, how would we do this? Well, the traditional way would be to go inside of Vim, search, replace, etc., but we're not going to do that. We're going to use sed. At the beginning, I mentioned that the way you use the sed command, the usage is type in sed, then the options, and then you define a script, and then the file name. Now, this script can be specified in the terminal, as we did with, for example, the -e command, or just doing something like this, search for LA and replace it with Louisiana, if that's how you spell it. Right. So this is what we've been doing so far for search and replace. But what we can also do is we can specify an actual script file for the sed command to use. It will then take that file as the script. It will take that file and perform all the instructions or operations in that file on the given file. So I've actually already made the script file for you because it would just take time for no reason. You don't need to see. Here I've got all the operations. So we're searching for AL and we're replacing with Alabama, so on and so forth for every single one of the state abbreviations that I actually got from the states.txt file, which was the sorted version of what's in the employees file. So I can actually go ahead and try and run the script file on our employees.txt file. So we use the option F to specify that the script is going to be a file. The name of the script, which in this case is called script, and we're going to do it on employees.txt. Now this, again, is not going to make changes in place, so it's probably going to print out every single, it's going to print out the file. So it might be a bit difficult to see, but if we use awk, and then we just get the, we can see that it's been changed here, Alabama, Kentucky, Rhode Island, Texas, but we'll just get the actual column just to make it a little bit easier for us to see. How do we do that? Oh yeah. So we're just going to print the fourth one. That should probably do. And we don't need to sort it, but yeah, that's... let me just see if I can do another one. let's print number 1. Yeah. Okay, no, we don't want to do that. It's changed, right? If we wanted to do this to another, we've modified our employees file to change all of the abbreviations to the appropriate or the corresponding names. So what it's doing is it's taking this script file, which let's take another look at, and it's performing all these operations on the file on each line. So it's checking, okay, is Alabama in the line? Sorry, is AL in the line? If it is, change to Alabama. If APO is in the line, change it to Army Post Office. If AR is in the line, so on and so forth. So it's doing this for every single line for the employee's file. You might actually have noticed, well, if I've had to write out each command manually for each one of the changes that I want to make, then would it not? I haven't really saved much time, because I could just do sed, and then I could just do AL Alabama, and then just do employees.txt like we've been doing for a single change. I could just do that, and then I could just change this to the next one, APO, because I'm already having to write it anyway, so why put it into one script file and do it, and run the sed command on the script file instead of just doing this. It takes the same amount of times to actually write it down. And the reason, again, is because, okay, that could be an argument, but the whole point is, again, if this was spanning multiple files, if we had multiple employees or multiple text files in which this kind of convention was being changed from the letters to the name, then I could run the sed command on all of them. So let me just have a quick, let's go back into this DB, into our mock database. Now we've got 100 text files, and again, imagine how long it would take to individually perform this command on every employee file from 1 to 100, and then do the same thing for each one of the changes that we wanted to make. In the similar way that we did the last one, we can just do sed -f script, so it's going to perform all the instructions in the script file, and we're going to do it to everything in this directory with a which ends in .txt. Couldn't open. Oh, that's why. So I can actually do it like this. Right. So in this way, I can make how many changes? 100 times 100. I can make 1,000 changes just like that. And now if we go into cd or cat db, let's just check the first one. Right, Delaware, Texas, Rhode Island, Kentucky, all these changes have been made. And just like that, we've done 1,000 changes in a split second. Hopefully this shows you how powerful the sed command is. Again, like I said, we've just kind of scratched the surface with this. There's a lot more options, right? If we just go ahead and take a look at some of the options here, there's a lot more options, so play around and yeah, create scenarios for yourself, just to give yourself some practice, and hopefully you'll get really good at